So we're live now. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm starting. So good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Sally Heather. Sally, we are truly honored to have you join us today. I know your schedule was hectic, and as well as your health was not in the best. Yeah, so your health was not the best, but given your expertise and the remarkable value you give, I couldn't pass on the opportunity for our fellows to learn directly from you. And let me tell you a bit about our group. Our fellows mostly come from Pakistan and Afghanistan, and a few of them are already working in the field with 1 or 2 years of experience under their belt in HR. And they're hearing a lot about organizational culture and employee engagement these days. But here's the thing, that most organizations think that providing a ping pong table and a few snacks equal to a great culture within the organization. And that's exactly why I knew that we needed you here today. And those of you who do not know about Mr. Ali, Mr. Ali works with organizations to develop cultures that promote real growth, genuine community, and positive business impact. And currently at Bykea Technologies, he focuses on building environments where people don't just show up; they thrive. They stay engaged and work towards shared goals. And his expertise, lie in aligning talent development with business goals to derive, improve business performances. And today's session, that is called the culture isn't ping pong, it's real engagement and real impact. It's going to cut through the buzzwords and surface level perks. So Mr. Ali will help us understand what organizational culture actually is, what engagement looks like when it creates real results, and how to build the trust and clarity within teams, and most importantly, some practical strategies you can implement to improve the culture within your own organization. So this isn't about theory or trendy office perks, but this is about creating workplaces where people genuinely want to contribute, grow, and succeed together. So I'm very excited for all of you to engage, ask a question, and make the most out of this truly meaningful opportunity that's been given us for us today. So, Mr. Ali, the floor is all yours, and welcome once again to Women Ascension.
Thank you very much, Jannat. This was a great introduction, and I think it was much what was just needed as just a human. So thanks again. So I am hoping that the people who are joined with this are from HR fraternity. Is it like that, or do
Yeah,
we
most of
have?
them are. Yeah, most of them are.
And are they like working somewhere, or some maybe if they are students or what?
Okay. So currently, the lot that we have, two of them are working, and the rest of
Hmm.
them are students.
Which two of them are working?
Mahnur and Huria.
Mahanur and Huria. So this is some great responsibilities towards Mahanur and Huria, and they need to jump in and share whatever they are doing. That brings in great insights, whatever is happening in their workplaces. This is very important for all of us to, share whatever we are doing. I could have, built up some PowerPoint and you maybe would have gone through it, or maybe I just have read through that PowerPoint, but that's not the case. We all are human beings. We are practicing what we have studied or what we know. And then the greater thing that we all should must agree on is the insights that comes from the practice. You know, um, maybe uh, maybe in some other months we would be losing the essence of working. Robots would be taking us very soon. The AI has already taken us the responsibility of human being that we had to think. Now we are not thinking anymore. People are getting me. Whatever we have to do, we can quickly go through ChatGPT or ask AI and do the thinking part of our responsibility. And what we just need to do now is to take some small actions. So those small actions is what keeping us alive is in this era. So Manu and Huria would be, pinning you people again and again to come through the session and share whatever you people are doing. In this era, doing is aliveness. And as this whole session is, designed towards engagement and the engagement of employees, team members, so it all comes down to this simple word, and that word is act. ACT, act. If we are not acting, if we are not doing anything, if we are, just sitting and we know stuff, but we are not doing anything, alas, we are dead. So if you wish to feel the aliveness, do whatever you know. I was going through a book. That book is like Awaken the Giant, written by Tony Robbins, a very famous speaker throughout the world. And he says that in previous centuries, the great power that human had was to think. But in this era, the greatest thing human can do is act and do. Because thinking and going through the information, going through the knowledge and numbers is taken away from us. So, you know, the great thing all students can take away from this overall conversation is, be very ready to do what you have learned through overall your studies. Go through the numbers, interact as much as you can, interact with the experts of whatever you are heading towards. Maybe that could be like human resource or marketing or supply chain or any other field that we have in this world. Go to the experts, stick to them, see what they are doing, and be very ready towards the what future beholds. Read everything. Read every book that comes under your way, and be very much ready. Why I say read book is, the AI knows everything, but reading itself has an experience. It's not about knowing what there is in the book. It's about the experience that the writer is trying to give you through the books. And this is how you people can come alive. And why I'm emphasizing towards aliveness before going to the any topic is because this simple word, aliveness, is connected to all the topics and the points that Jannat has already shared with me. So I hope people are alive in this session. I hope so. They are breathing well. They are in the good health of they are in the good health. Uri and Mahanu, especially you people and the students that we have, especially, please jump in with questions and confusions that you people have in mind. And believe me, if you do not have any questions or confusions, there comes the emergency. There comes the emergency. For example, if we are not feeling well medically, or we have met an accident, maybe an accident through any vehicle like car or bike or whatever. If Allah na kare, if we went through that, so there are emergencies at the hospitals. But think about the emergency when we are not having any confusion or questions in mind. We are medically well, but how about our mental health? What about the aliveness of our soul? Because the aliveness of soul brings us the questions in our mind, the confusions that pushes us hard, that the aliveness that brings us out every day from the bed, to go towards the excellence, to go towards the greatness that life beholds. And as we are, majority of us maybe are from the human resource background. Either some of are working and some of us are studying. So we are human resource. And this the first word of this phrase is human. So we need to understand what human is. Or maybe we have studied what human was. through the uh, biology from the books. But in this era, human have changed, isn't it? Do you people believe that? Please show up. Please show up with your what your comments are, what your thoughts are. Do you people really think human is the same human that we used to have in previous years? We are not thinking at this stage. We are not thinking at this stage. Only some of us are acting, and the rest are just doing as what they are asked to do, just doing as what policies or terms and conditions allows them to do. Nothing new. Please show up. What do people think? Yeah, through the messages or whatever. If you people can, uh, unmute yourself. So Huria Sultan Zada says, I'm working as senior HR assistant in international organization. Thank you so much, Huria, for your introduction. What do you think about what we have been trying to discuss right now? That we are human first before the introduction of us working in human resource, we are human. And whatever this phrase is that says human resource, the first word is human. And to engage human, we need to understand who this human is. And in this era, human has changed. Believe me, human has changed because we are not thinking. Please show up your thoughts through the messages, or would be great if you can chip in, unmute yourself, or share your random thoughts. I know we all must be unprepared. That is not the case. Yes, Kani, we are influenced rather than self. Wow, you know, Kani, thank you so much for sharing that. That blows my mind. We are more influenced after than self. How do you define that? So, how many of you know Allama Iqbal? How many of you know Allama Iqbal? Please tell me.
We
The
haven't
greatest message
the
that Allama.
Pakistani fellows and the rest of our
Uh-huh.
yeah, Afghanistan. So only two of them
Mm-hmm.
know. I myself as well.
Jannat, believe me,
Yeah.
Allama Iqbal has a big percentage of his kalam in Persian language. Do you know Persian language?
Me?
So Mariam Yunus, yep. And all the people who are from Afghanistan who does not understand Urdu, does they understand Persian, the Farsi language? Wow, yeah, you are great, man. Such a privilege that you know Persian and Urdu both. These days, I'm trying to learn Persian language, and it is so melodious. So such a beautiful language it is. Veda Alizada says Urdu. No worries, you cannot speak. You can practice. These days, I'm learning Persian, and you are learning Urdu. Wow. Maybe we can connect and share our thoughts with with both the language. So why I was emphasizing on Allama Iqbal, the greatest message that Allama Iqbal has given is so what that message is. If anyone has gone through the work of Allama Iqbal, wow, Tahmin, how are you?
Exactly.
Yes, please. Someone was saying something.
Yeah, I was saying I didn't catch you. What were you saying?
Is it like Jannat?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
Jannat,
am.
Jannat, I was asking. So it's basically great that you know Allama Iqbal. What else do you know Allama Iqbal? Who he was, and what does he preach? What does he has given to the world?
I mean, he
Poet
was a
of
lot
the
for
East.
us
Yep.
Pakistanis.
Dream of Pakistan. These are all the
You
secondary
want to
thoughts that
select.
Allama Iqbal has given. The greatest thing, Allama Iqbal, oh wow, Mariam Yunus, that's it, the concept of Khudi. And I'm sure you must be reading Allama Iqbal. Wow. And this last weekend, I was attending a retreat that was designed on the theme of Allama Iqbal's message of Khudi. And I was blown up. And pity on myself, I never knew who Allama Iqbal was before that retreat. And everyone in this session who is pursuing human resource, either studying or either anyone who has started to work, you need to learn the message of Khudi that Allama Iqbal has given. This is the only way in this era that you will come to know who human is. So let's understand what Khudi is. What Khudi is. Huja, can you please take us through your thoughts? Mariam, yeah, Mariam, you said. We promoted self-awareness, unity. Yeah. Forget unity, that comes afterwards. Self-awareness, what is self? Ah, wow. See how beautiful
Yeah.
it is. In
Hello, everyone.
self-awareness itself,
Yeah.
the
Can I
self
talk?
comes first. Yeah, please, for sure. Take the stage, please. Share.
I think self awareness is the first step, as we all human, in the process of like self, how we innovate, how we discover ourselves. And I think it is the first step while we are recognizing the world. And if a person didn't know about themselves, didn't know about their weakness, the strength, or the way or the purpose of their life, so your life will be like hopeless and didn't have any intention for their life. So by this it means that when we know about ourselves, and we know what we really want in our life, and what is the inner desire for doing something, so we know
Mhm.
that our purpose
Wow,
for overall the world, and we can help others. And it will be like another stage in life that we can know other peoples. If we didn't have any thought about ourselves, how to upscale ourselves, how to know, how to like care about ourselves, so we can care about others.
wow. Thank you very much, Priya. This was beautiful. Great insights for self-awareness. So let's come back to what Allama Iqbal has shared under the umbrella of Khudi. See, the greatest message of this overall, the concept of Khudi is to recognize thyself, recognize in such a depth that you do not want anyone else to pursue. So, for example, I have a great teacher to follow. Yeah, I will follow, but I will not become that person. Why? Because I myself have myself, and I do not need anyone else to become. Yeah, I would follow people, I would learn from them, but I would only become Ali Heather. And each one of you should become who your real self are. This is what Khudi is. And this is the only way in this era a human may come alive. And to understand human resource and to, understand people, resource, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. The only difficult thing in this era to understand is people, the human everywhere. Every time there are differences, every time there are conflicts, every time there may be, differences of opinions. The human is something that needs a lot of attention to understand who a human being is. And then there comes we ourselves who have, differences in our professions. So some might be engineers. So engineers have the vast field to specialize in, and there comes people who specializes in business studies. Maybe they are experts of marketing, human resource, supply chain, sales, and whatsoever. And then there comes people who are artists. Wow. There are designers, there are painters, and we can just write number of professions that there are actually. And then if you are managing human from all these different backgrounds, you can understand what this big mess is. It's not easy. It's not easy. So let's come towards the first topic that that we all have that is to redefine what engagement and culture truly mean in practice. So I think on the surface level we have discussed the importance of practice as in the earliest part of the session we discussed what is the importance of act, what is the importance of practice, and then we have also discussed um, some factors of engagement as we have discussed some characteristics of human, and then culture. I would love to share a story here, and that story comes from a book that Adam Grant has written. Um, and in that book, he shared the story of BenQ. BenQ. I hope you people must be aware of this word that I've just written in the chat, BenQ, or maybe another brand that was, um, yep, BlackBerry. So we used to have mobile phones of the company that is BlackBerry. Have you people seen that? Please show up. Hit
Yes.
like on my message. Yeah, thank you, Jannat. And and in this era, there is no market stake that BlackBerry has. It's gone. We might have Samsung, we might have Apple, we might have some number of Chinese products, but we do not have BlackBerry. And once we had BlackBerry, and the overall market stake, and market stake of the overall mobile phones in the world, BlackBerry had was 51%. Do you understand? 51% of the overall mobile phones in the world was BlackBerry, and I guess it was like 2000. It is like 2005 till 2010 or maybe 2012, and then it is gone. Yeah, Kanvi. So right. Tiny button keyboard, mobile phone. And what happened in that story is the overall leadership of that BlackBerry company was Americans. And in those directors and in those leaders, there was only one Japanese. And in 2005, that person who was from Japan shared his idea of innovation, which all American leaders declined. And that idea was to transform or transcend from that keyboard design mobile phones to the touch screen mobile phones. And that idea in 2005 was declined by all American leadership of BlackBerry. And after the decline, we all know where BlackBerry is in this year or maybe in this era. They are nowhere. So the important thing that we have to understand here is why this all happened. It's not just the market share that BlackBerry lost. It's not that the BlackBerry company itself got vanished. The important thing here is that great idea from the Japanese person got declined. And that is where the differences in our culture. comes in. You know, one simple decline of idea can bring down the overall giant. And just imagine the big number of revenue that BlackBerry lost. Humongous. See, so this is what happens when there are differences in culture. And this happens everywhere in our home, in our communities, in our organizations as well. So in our communities and our home, basically there are people who are like-minded. There are high chances of people being like-minded, but in organizations, there are people who are from different part of world. You know, at every 10 kilometer, culture changes. At every 10 kilometer, there are differences in languages. The language may remain same, but there may be a difference. So in Karachi, as I live in Karachi, we speak Urdu, but at every 10, at every 10 kilometer of an average, Urdu does get changed. The way people speak, it gets changed. We do have some differences in this one language. There are, different way of speaking. There are different words that only some certain areas have, but the language remains same. But there are differences. So, if people are coming in from different cities, and if people are coming in from different part of the world, there will be big changes in their cultures, different languages, different upbringing, difference in schooling, and then difference of norms. These four things. So, number one thing is the culture where people are coming in, their parenting, their norms, and their schooling. These four things. These four things is what derives the culture. You can go on into internet and go through different research papers, and you would only find these four bigger umbrellas that defines the culture. And to create an harmony from different, from the people, from these overall changes is what the success is. And that only comes from engagement. See, so how beautiful it is and how critical it is as well. So here we need to understand our background. So as part of HR, as you know, Jannat, thank you so much for your great introduction for myself. I would like to, share that currently I'm not associated with Bykea Technologies. I'm currently working with Bacha Party. It is one of the biggest retail stores in Pakistan, and so yeah, I'm associated with a different organization. So with this as well, we do have different people coming in. So in Pakistan, we have like four provinces, and living in Karachi, you know, we have such a big number of culture the people are coming from. We have Sindhi people, we have people who speaks Urdu, who speaks basic Urdu, the fundamental Urdu, Khalis Urdu. And then there are people coming from Punjab, people coming from, so now in Sindh, there are different languages. And then in Punjab, there are different languages. And then there is Balochistan, there is Balochi language, and then there is Persian language as well. Then there is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa itself has different languages. The Pashto language, the Barohi language in Balochistan is so beautiful. Yeah, Mariam, you're so right, 110%. Culturally enriched cities, see? And then we have people coming from Gilgit, Chitral, Kashmir. So, and all these people are working together in different organizations. And to manage all those people is such a mess, but a beautiful mess it is. Believe me. And now you understand why are we discussing this point. And thanks to Jannat to, bring this point under the discussion. This is so beautiful. And this is why giants like BlackBerry has gone out of the market. Why? The differences of cultures were unable to be beholded, were unable to be contained. The ego of of us is so fragile that a Japanese cannot share his idea in front of us, being American, and this his idea of excellence, of greatness, of such a big number of revenue got declined, and who suffered? Not just him, but the overall company got suffered, and not they just suffered, but they got killed out of the market. So understand this. If you are going into anything like you know, maybe a marriage as well. If you are getting married, the other person would be coming in from different culture. So if you like really wish to make that wedding successful, you need to push back your ego and understand that the person coming next is different. And as we are in HR, so now we have discussed in I think in enough depth that what people are coming from differences of background. So one thing that we need to understand is stay alive, keep acting, keep doing what you think, what you know, and robots will be taking us all over very soon. The only people that can that can fight at that era would be the people who would be acting. So recently in Karachi, there are different big big roads that we have here, very famous roads. And on those roads, we got uh, the government placed some AI supported cameras that is helping the traffic police. And the traffic policemen themselves got out of the market. Maybe they are not working as they used to work earlier. Their work is now getting out of how it was. Those cameras are enough to see how people are driving, and that's it. And do not wait that AI would be coming to your job as well. So go to the books, read anything that comes under your way. That might be poetry, that might be philosophy, that might be physics, and that might be psychology. Read, read, and read. And then after reading, act upon it. Be different, be vibrant, be socially acceptable. Learn to communicate with, with having differences as well. So there's a question how we can define organizational culture in a way that makes it actionable for HR professionals. So this is a very specific question, a very great question. Thank you so much, Julia. So for example, if I'm working within any organization, and let's take an example of an organization that I'm working with is an organization that has 500 employees, and I must be having their personal files. Files means like their backgrounds. I must be knowing what background these people are coming from. Right. So with that background, and I must be having different insights, and I not just from the their personal files, from the performance management as well. So performance management here plays the critical role. So there may be teams in which they have cultural differences, cultural backgrounds differences, and then there would be teams that we need to So for example, if we need like two teams who should work together, so those two teams could be like marketing and sales. These two teams work parallel, and if these two teams does not have harmony, that would make organizations suffer. So, as an HR, this is an important insight for me, right? So, I would be doing some engagement activities or, taking some different opportunities to make these two teams interact. Do not do anything which makes silos gets developed in the organization. So what are silos? We may have seen different silos. If you are not aware of the word silo, just simply go to the Google and write silo and go to images. You would recall what a silo is. You must be like knowing it. So in organization, silos gets developed, and we need to kill it with engagement, kill it with different opportunities to interact, create those opportunities in which teams can interact. In today's era, there are organizations who invest largely on engagement activities. They have budgets for monthly engagement activities. They have huge budgets. So, for example, once as we I was working with Bykea Technologies, we used to invest engagement activities in the form of football matches, cricket matches. We had placed snooker table in our office just for the sake of people coming in and playing, and this was very important. And then we also launched different activities like, taking out two different teams for lunch. So team can go out, eat together, chat together on different, for maybe for personal or professional, whatever they want to. So this is how interactions comes in, the power of interaction and the power of communication comes in. Learning or development makes another very important plays another very important role. You can, bring out two different teams who are unable to interact well with another team and place those two teams in a team building activity. So for example, there are different retreats happens in in corporate world in which company takes out their teams to different outdoor activities. So for example, if you go through my LinkedIn profile, you would see I was doing some corporate retreats like taking out people from their offices, going to the beach and playing tug of war, playing football, playing volleyball. So, for example, if two teams having conflict, make them play together. Forget work, forget their conflict, make them forget their conflict. Just push them to play together. And this is how beautiful human beings are, and this is how easy it becomes to lead them. So another question that Huria sent is when we have someone who won't like inclusion, how we can teach them? Wow. This is such a great question, Huria. Thank you very much for sharing it. So, Huria, there must be something that that the particular person would be liking. For example, if he is not inclusive, so there is a good chance that that particular person would be good at arts. So if you see around yourself as well, people who are not inclusive, they are they are good thinkers, and people who are good thinkers, they are good at arts, maybe in poetry or painting or sketching or any form of art. So it's us who need to be creative and bring out ways in which different people can interact. I hope that answers your question, Surya. Let's jump on to the second question that Jannat has designed, and that is learn to think critically about how HR can drive engagement that actually matters. Yeah, this is very important. So, as we also discussed it earlier, that through performance management and through different data sets, we can see like which two teams or maybe which number of teams are having some, difficulty in interacting with themselves. And then another important point that we all can learn from is employee satisfaction survey. You can run that and know each and everything that employee is thinking. So, for example, I remember running an employee satisfaction survey at Bykea Technologies. We we included a question that says, rate your interaction with the marketing team, rate your interaction with the overall teams that we had. So we had different teams like HR, marketing, um, administration, software development, product development, and some other teams. So every single employee rated his own engagement percentage with all the teams that we had in that organization, and then we got to know which team is highly interactive, and we also got to know the teams with which we need to work in terms of their interaction with the overall organization. So you need to be very creative in a way that you bring out the data, you bring out the insights where you need to work in. So data brings the great role. And with that data, we got to know that in which teams we really need to work with. So product development and software development are two teams that is very important for an IT company to make them work together, make them collaborate. So we made those two teams go out, enjoy, and come back. Be friends with them, with each of them. So that really worked. And with that being worked, it translated into revenue. You know, the sales that were unable to be made, the projects that were unable to be delivered, these simple engagement activities can help. All that is needed is the alignment of the overall engagement activity with the data. And that data should be coming in from these real-time insights. There is a very famous quotation. The quotation is the identification of the solution is its half solution. Let me reread it. The identification of the problem is its half solution. So if we do not know where the problem is, we might not solve it. And we need to know the problem in depth. So, for example, for example, if someone is saying my organization is having challenges with employee engagement, no, you need to understand the problem in depth. Which teams are having problems in interacting with each other? Be specific as much as you can. Bring out those specific employees. Make them interact with each other. Make them play with each other through sports or maybe any engagement activity that can be designed very sweetly or very easily. So this is how easy it is, but complex if we keeps our eye closed. So I hope that answers your question. And please, just like Huria is doing, keep sharing questions. And I wish I am helping with those confusions or those questions. And then coming towards the third point that Jannat has shared is move beyond theory into understanding how real organizations create impact through people. And I think this is what we we all have been discussing through in overall this session. See, going beyond what there has been in our textbooks of human resources is what we are doing in this age. So, for example, we discussed about employee satisfaction survey. We discussed about, bringing clearer and specific insights, playing with data, and bringing out exact people who are having challenges with collaboration. This is nowhere written in any textbook. Pity on us. So we need to be very smart. Uh, be smart. Use AI. Use AI for your benefit, not just to rephrase the email that you have written in your raw form. Take onto AI with some other next steps. Write your all over your problem with AI and ask for the solution. Talk to AI, take it to the conclusion, and then write the solution. So this is how easy it becomes. So yep, Janet, are you there? If you, I hope that I've made some points easy to understand, clearer to understand. You people helped me by sharing your insights. Your comments were great, really great. So if Janet, you think like whatever I've said makes sense and is was understandable, we can move ahead to the Q&A section.
Yes, most definitely. It was really helpful. I mean, you started with a very different perspective overall. And that was, truly inspiring to, first jump into more of the aspect of humanity and then go towards the culture and everything and how it relates
Yep.
to human nature. That was
Uh-huh.
like really, nice to hear,
Uh-huh.
So that was really great. The analogy was really great. I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure
Thank you so
rest
much,
of the
Jannat.
fellows did as well. So yes, there are some questions in the chat box. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
there's one Pooja has asked again that how can we rebuild trust in teams where leadership has previously failed to deliver on culture promises?
Uh, that is such a painful question, Jannat, you see.
Yeah, it is. Trust building is really difficult even in the first place. So, rebuilding it's
Yeah.
going to take a lot of effort and then time.
Thank you so much, Julia, for sharing that. So you see, the bottom of this question is building trust. And once
Yeah.
it gets broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And how we can, rebuild it? Forget about rebuilding trust at workplace. Let's talk about rebuilding trust at home, with parents, with the spouse, or maybe with friends. Is it possible? Yes, so this becomes possible only with 5% of overall scenarios.
Okay, it's going to take a very special, I believe it's going to take a very special relationship. If it's a very special relationship, only then a trust can be rebuilt. But in my personal case, I don't
Hmm.
think I can ever rebuild trust with anyone else. So it's
Then
really
there,
difficult.
then there is a very famous quotation: "Whatever you believe, it happens."
I
If you
am
believe
somebody
that,
who, I am somebody who builds trust really easily. And I'm often criticized for it, that
uh-huh,
I do not, take precautions before building trust. But it has never been proven wrong in my case. But I was just saying hypothetically, if it does happen, and yeah, once it has happened with me. So it took a lot of time for me to let go of the, all the scenario and everything. And then I was able to, communicate with the person once again. So it's really
awesome.
difficult to, rebuild
Yes.
that trust.
And
It takes
through
a lot of time.
difficulties, excellence becomes alive.
Yeah.
And who here to be very precise, this is possible. So your question is very good. Let me reread it. How can we rebuild trust in teams where leadership has previously failed to deliver on cultural promises? So This is to be at the first place, this is a dilemma. And if leadership gets failed to deliver anything, there are so many factors that would come alive after that failure of leadership. That's sad and depressive for me to read. But that happens every now and then. So at first place, take work as work. Take employment as employment. This is not heaven. Yes, we do have a heaven in this session, and her name is Jannat. But at work, it remains work. That would be tough. That would be difficult. That would be, the trust would be fragile because it's work. And every great person that has come ever alive has faced all such difficulties. The broken trust, not just at the workplace, but everywhere. And this is only just one thing that can, rebuild the trust. And that is to bestow your eyes. Close your eyes or maybe hold your eyes below and just keep working. Just keep proving again and again and again. Become credible at your work. Become best at your work. There is very great um, concept that comes from Greek mythology, and that is, I hope you people have learned or heard about that concept. That is ethos, logos, and pathos. This is very great concept, Surya. Learn about this concept, and this would help you to come over the challenge that you are facing with the overall question that you have shared. So this one, I think that is pathos in that overall. So these are like three words: ethos, pathos, and logos. And the pathos in this overall in these three words is be credible, be the expert of what you are doing. So once you become expert, you are heard, and once you start getting heard, the trust starts to become alive again. That's really difficult. That would take time. It would not be like a trust is broken and in the next week the trust starts to rebuild. No, it would not happen. It would take months or maybe some years for the trust to be rebuilt. So I've been in some organization where this thing has happened, and by reading your question, all such memories got alive again, and I was, having those memories back, recalling them. So, but yes, after passing by years, and then again, organization investing in after their failure and learning of those failure, the investment of overall those learnings, that trust can be rebuilt. It would be difficult, but after that difficulty, there would be excellence. Yes, thank you so much, Jannat, for writing. Humans are fragile, especially the ego that we have is so much fragile. A single blow of wind can break it, and we would be, just so quick to start fighting. And those fighting can take place in any organization. So let's work with bigger hearts. Let's learn to, reflect in ourselves. Let's learn to let go
Yeah.
if you are working in HR. And if you want to build cultures, learn to let go, act to let go. We build greater values. By building greater values, I mean to act on those greater values. And when people start watching you, that you are the one who's acting onto the greater values, that is how greater values comes into play. And with those greater values, the culture starts to flourish. I really loved this conversation of ours. This was really deep. Uh, in some part of our conversation, we were philosophical. We were also discussing HR. And, this is how beautiful it is. This is how philosophical it is to work in HR. Then one needs to be good at psychology. One needs to be good at data. This is how uneasy to work in HR is. So yes, Jannat,
It's not an easy job, but
yeah,
definitely with, I think with experience and practice, you know, it's
uh-huh,
manageable. Yeah, so
it is, it is. And once it
it's
starts
true.
to get managed, the harmony comes in, and it's
Yeah,
very melodious.
true, true, true. Very true, very true. I think I would ask a question, and I would
Please,
really
please,
like
please.
you to answer it. That,
Uh,
especially for us working in, resource constrained environments,
mhm.
what's one culture improvement strategy we could implement?
Can you give us a scenario of give us just give us an example?
I'll give you an example of a startup, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a startup, and they have, resource constraints, especially in terms of finances, budget, such an environment. So, what's one culture, improvement strategy that they could implement for their own organization?
Janet, so the great thing is we in this session are from Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Yeah,
One nation has gone through independence and the other one has gone through wars.
yes,
And in both the scenarios, we have lackings in funds, we have lacking in resources
yeah,
for independence and in war both. But these both two nations have become survivor. Pakistan got independent, Afghanistan kept fighting war, and still it is fighting a war. But still here we are in an online session,
yeah,
alive, discussing, connected. This is how you know we stay alive without the investment, without the funds, without any investment our governments have made in this overall session that we are in. So what has kept us alive? Think what has kept us alive? What has brought us together? The philosophy of getting better every day?
yeah. I think the motivation for survival.
Yep. Yep, there is the right answer, Jannat. You already knew it. You already knew it, Jannat. Thank you very much for driving us from the question to the answer. And that only happens when you start reflecting in ourselves, in thyself. You see, I've never been to Afghanistan. I wish I would come someday and see the enriched art that you people have. I'm just envisioning a nation who have been into war for decades,
Yeah,
and I would love to see the art that you people have. Pakistan is also enriched with the art. We have great things. I would love to see what Afghanistan has. And art is that one thing, maybe with those number of things, art is that one thing that can keep us alive. Poetry, paintings, the the poetic verses of Quran that we have, that has kept us alive, that has given us hope, that this strong word that we have of these four alphabets, that is HOPE, hope. This keeps us alive, you know, and this is the right answer for you. If any organization that does not have funds for engagement activity, for any positive thing. The only thing that on which that organization can flourish is hope, motivation, connection of one human to another human, that raw connection, that unprepared connection, just going and bumping into another human and talking, greeting, that does not need any investment.
Yeah. Now
So,
that you say
yep,
it like that, you've rephrased it like that. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah,
I hope so. I hope so. It works as well. And
it
believe me, it works.
definitely does.
I've been into startups. It works. Hope
Mm.
works.
Yeah,
There are
the world
there
pivots
are
around hope.
deserts.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are deserts in Afghanistan and Pakistan, both. And
yeah.
the beauty of desert is there is a flower named as Lala-e-Sahrai. Go on to Google and type it, Lala-e-Sahrai. Maybe I can write it in the chat. There is a very famous poem of Allama Iqbal on this Lala-e-Sahrai, and that is resilience. See, in the hardships of deserts, Lala-e-Sahrai gets born in a desert. It's a beautiful flower. It does not have water, does not have right, you know, right, right sand or whatever the needs are for a flower or plant. But it gets born, and it's beautiful. There are always ways. When there are no money, there are ways. Wow, how
Yeah,
beautiful that said. When there is no money, there are ways. Jannat. Still living
no,
in
definitely.
Pakistan with these issues and challenges. Yes, I am. I'm living and I'm trying to be alive every other day. So what keeps me motivated is the sunrise. Believe me, if we are connected anyway, I would love to share pictures of sunrises that I used to capture every day. I wake up at early in the morning, you know, uh, praise Fajr, go out to work, and these days, Alhamdulillah, I'm able to, keep up with the routine in which I walks out of home at 6:30 a.m. early in the morning, reach at work at 7, and in this half an hour, I enjoy the sunrise. And it's so beautiful. That gives me hope that no matter how dark the night was, there would be a sun every other day. So that keeps you alive. That gives you hope. And if you have that sight, believe me, if you have that sight, you would see factors that would give you hope. A
True.
simple flower was able to inspire a Lamagba. A flower in desert was able to give motivation to a Lamagba. Birds can give you motivation. The humming of birds, the beautiful melodious music of birds can give you hope. There is so much to see when we start seeing with the sight of positive thinking. So, yep,
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much. I believe so. We don't have any more questions from the fellows. Um, do you guys
I
have any
wish
questions?
we have unlimited questions and
Yeah,
we
I
can
hope
ask ourselves.
we could go longer and longer for this conversation that we were having. But yeah, um,
Thank you so
yeah.
much, Surya. You were great throughout the session. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Everyone, whether I would love to take all the names that you people came in. Mariam Yunus, thank you very much. Surya, you have been great. Kanvi. Wow. Oh, I wish we had some other time for this session. Muzda Safi, I would love to know the meaning of these names. These are so unique. We in Pakistan does not have names like these, like Mazda, Muzda maybe, and yeah, we I've heard names like Manu Rahman, Veda Alizada. So I wish I could know the meaning of this name. I've heard name Huria. I heard my mother's name is Maria. Maria, if you are hearing this, thank you very much for sharing your comments. So thank you so much for connecting. Thank you so much for bearing me. Yeah.
And Musta says her name means good news.
Wow. What else do we need in this era? We only need
Yeah.
Muzda. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Muzda, for
we
sharing
do
this.
need we do need some good Musta.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much,
before I
Muzda.
wrap up the session, would you like to add something?
Uh, I would love to understand the meaning of everyone's names. And we
Oh,
see Jannat. Just as understanding one name Muzda of Muzda. It's such, it's so philosophical, this name Muzda. And
yeah.
yes, of course, the overall topic that has vast other factors as well, which we can discuss on, and those discussion would be deep and philosophical, but of course, related to the typical HR, the textbook HR. And this would be very difficult, not very difficult, but yes, very beautiful. And we can take another time to uh, connect and discuss. That
Most
would be
definitely.
beautiful. That would be
Most
honor
definitely.
for me.
And yeah, with not but this batch, because we are soon concluding this batch. I hope we can
Mhm.
invite you again for with our next batch.
Uh, I would
I would
love to
love
be part of
to,
it.
have you with us again for our
Thank you
next
so much,
batch.
Jannat. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Jannat.
So once again, Shari, thank you so much, for being here with us today. We truly
You
appreciate
see,
the
you see
time that
this
you have.
this sunrise at my background. I
Yeah.
captured this picture.
Oh, that's amazing.
You see the
You
rainbow?
were talking about taking pictures of sunrise. I
Yeah.
was going to say that you have the same in your background.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes. I
amazing.
captured this picture while going towards work. And the great part of it is, I hope you people can see a rainbow
Yeah, yeah.
circle around the sun. Can you people see
Yes.
that?
Yeah, we can
Brilliant.
see the ring around the sun. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. That was a
Yeah.
rainbow. Rainbow without rain.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There was no rain. There was bright sunlight, but there was rainbow. This was